Hello, hello! Welcome to a new installment of New Gameplay Today. I am your host, Wesley LeBlanc, and I am joined by the man himself, Alex Stadnik.
Hey, yo, what's going on, everyone? Thanks for having me, Wes.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm excited to chat about today's game, which is called Fueled Up, and it's developed by Fireline Games. And speaking of Fireline Games, we have two members from the team. Kasper Kowalczyk, how's it going?
Hi, thanks. It's great, and it's great to be here.
Thanks for joining us. And we have Chris Helt. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Yeah, so you two gave me and Stagnic the chance to play Fueled Up, which you can see on screen, is a 4-player, cooperative, sci-fi, Overcooked style game. Very stressful, lots of fun. We got to play that for about an hour yesterday together. And Stadnic, I don't know about you, but I actually had a really, really good time.
Oh, so yeah, I 100% did. Overcooked type games are stressful for me, but also in a fun way. And I think they're the team here is onto something in that vein. So I'm excited to learn more from them.
Yeah, for sure. And so let's before we directly talk about Fueled Up, tell me a bit about Fireline Games, guys. What's what's the history of the studio? How long have you been working on this game?
Okay, so Fireline Games, it's basically just for people. We're all friends, and we've met each other like 7 or 8 years ago, I believe. And passion for games is what brought us together. And we've always participated in a lot of game jams, and we really loved making like small, simple prototypes that would flesh out different new gameplay mechanics and ideas because this is basically like we try to make we try to get the most fun out of games that we're making, and this has been always our goal because we really want to see players enjoying what we're doing because this is the best reward that we can have. So we've been making this, game jam games, and this is actually how Fueled Up came to be because it was originally created during a game jam 2 years ago, but I guess we can talk about it a little bit later.
Yeah, for sure. And so Fireline Games is just 4 developers, right? You two and then presumably 2 more?
Yeah, exactly. It's just for developers. It's me and Chris. We're both programmers and designers, and we have 2 more artists with us. But honestly, with a team that small, it's like everyone is doing everything. Mm-hmm. It's just typical for indie teams that there's a lot of roles to fill, and everyone has to do something that they wouldn't usually do.
Yeah, for sure. And so I know based on, I wrote a story about the announcement of Fueled Up recently, and I know from that the team has credits on Dying Light 2, Control, The Walking Dead. How did the 4 of you come together, and what made you guys decide to go after a genre like this?
Yeah, so like I said, we met around 7 years ago while we were studying together, and that's how we started making games together. But then we started working into like AAA games, me and Chris at Techland, and some of our artists at Remedy, etc. And these are like our day jobs because the important thing here is that we still work in AAA development, and this is something that we're doing after hours.
Oh, really?
It's not our full-time job, yeah.
I had no idea. Wow.
Yeah, and we're like huge fans of co-op games, and this is why we made a game like that, because obviously we love Overcooked like everyone else, and we play a lot of co-op games, and this is why we wanted to make something like this as well.
For sure.
Gotcha. Yeah. And Chris, it sounded like you were going to say something?
Yeah, like basically tell the story that Kasper told, because that's how we met, that's how we're still making games, and to be honest, we mostly try to make games that we want to play, because that's how it should be, in my opinion.
For sure. We've talked a lot about, I mean, if just looking at the game, right, the Overcooked influences here, but what is Fueled Up doing differently, better? Like, what are you guys most proud of when you look at this game, and why should people be interested in it?
In my opinion, when I've played Overcooked to me, the gameplay of course was fun, but the problem was that most of the time after like few like minute or something of the level, we've got with my team that I was playing with figure out what everybody needs to do. We will execute what to do, and that was all. Like, this is the rest of the level. We just need to make those dishes as fast as possible.
Right.
And what we set up to do here in Fueled Up is more like, yeah, you still have this kind of planning and cooperation as a team, but then on top of it, you got some emerging things that you need to take care of. The hole that you need to repair, the asteroids that will fall on the ship, and so on, that will take you like from the usual structured gameplay to some more split-second decision-making that you need to do to just like make it more fresh and not the same 3 minutes that you will repeat from start to finish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chaos, and there's a lot of dynamic elements in all of that, and we believe that that's what makes us different.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that comes through really well. Me and Stadnik yesterday, when we got done playing with you guys, talked about like the escalation of the game. The first level is kind of easy. It's your little starter level. You kind of just need to keep the ship going, and then every level after that introduce some new mechanic. On screen, you're seeing not only do we have to make fuel, we have to keep the door shut,
Yeah, the
which we
airlock.
have to control. Yeah, the airlock shut. And on top of all that, you have the brakes in the ship that you got to fix. Like, there's always something to be doing, and it seems like that's just going to continue to ramp up through the rest of the game.
Yes, exactly. We have like more than 20 mechanics for you, so we're definitely gonna be introducing more and more every level. So we hope that you'll never get bored, because there's really a lot to do for you in Fueled Up.
Yeah, and so with this match just starting, I guess in your words, explain like how like everything a player is seeing on screen right now. You've got the top left is kind of the super important bar, because that's basically you're doing great or you're not doing so great bar. Tell me a bit about that.
Okay, so the basic premise of the game is you have your spaceship that you need to retrieve from some forsaken part of the space that was abandoned for God knows what reason. And for that, you need to do two things. First of all, you need to power the engines to get into the safe place that you can perform a jump to the shipyard. And the second thing is not let the ship blow up in the process. That's what's repairing hoses, taking up asteroids that you will see in the later levels probably, and so on and so on. The not so easy part is there's a lot of environmental hazards that can be seen. You can see airlocks that will suck out the players, you see some smoke that will obstruct your vision, and so on. And to top all of that, there's also an octopus, the evil octopus that is chasing you, that you need to not let catch up with you. And to do so, you cannot make the engines run out of fuel, because if you are standing still, the octopus is getting closer and closer, what you see on the top left side of the screen. So if the octopus will catch up with you, this is basically also game over, because it will destroy a ship. And then, as you are doing all of this, we have something that is like we call adaptive difficulty. So if you are doing great, you have really high hull integrity that is on the left side of the screen, you are powering engines well, and so on, then the game will crank up the difficulty a little bit, spawning more things, and so on and so on, to keep you entertained and not being like standing still and not doing nothing because everything is taken care of. But on the other side, if you are not doing so well and you are like balancing on the verge of destruction, then we'll toning it down a bit to just let you catch a breath to get a hold of what's going on. Of course, all of this is reflected more or less in the score, so that if you're doing well, you're still having a better score than someone who is not, but we don't want players to be either overwhelmed with what's happening or being bored because there's nothing happening, because they're doing great. And at the end of the level, you get a score, then that's how you complete or not complete a level, and then you can start again, because the cooperation in here is really a key. Like you have lost a level and then reassess what you need to do, assign the roles and try to do it in more structured way, while still, of course, reacting to things second by second, and you will do a lot better than the first time.
Right. It's no wonder that, especially in the later games, we got so much thrown at us because we were killing it those first couple rounds. Not to brag or anything like that.
It's true. It's true.
But we were doing pretty well.
We were first-time players. Did we have the help of two people who have actually developed the game?
Created the game, yeah. Did our
Maybe
two new
it
friends
doesn't matter?
Yeah. Does it matter? Yeah. That's a great question.
And so tell me about the idea behind the bonus objectives, which people are seeing on screen right now.
Yes, so basically we wanted, to add more content to the game because we want to give people as many ways to enjoy it as they want. And there are different types of players. There are players who really want to, get everything, fill out all the bonus objectives and get all stars. And there are people who just want to get 3 stars on every map and just like complete the game, and that's all. That's why we made them bonus and not mandatory. But in the design of the objectives themselves is that we wanted the players to think about gameplay and the map in a different way. So usually we create them in a way that needs like a different strategy from you, and you need to approach the gameplay in a completely different way. For example, on the 4th map that we've played, we have a bonus challenge of that's about never dropping an item. So, in a game like that, it's really hard to never drop an item, and if you're gonna start playing in a way that after you take an item from a dispenser and you never can drop it unless you put it in its destination, like in the fuel refiner or in the power source to actually replace the battery, it makes the gameplay completely different and makes you think in a completely different way, which we believe is a great thing because it plays like a different game, and it really adds to the variety.
For sure. And we're seeing now, like, asteroids are coming down. This is one of the many mechanics here, and it just added to the level of chaos. What else can people expect without spoiling things? Whatever you guys are comfortable like sharing with us today.
Well, I'm sure you're familiar with the announcement trailer that we showed, so you know that you can expect my favorite mechanic, a volcano on a spaceship.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but besides that, well, I can list you a few things. There's gonna be asteroids. There's gonna be different types of asteroids, ones that cause fire. We're gonna have a thing called fusion generators. It's introduced in chapter 3. It's basically like a generator that's pretty much gets overheated constantly, and you need to make sure to keep it heat level on an acceptable level, or otherwise it's gonna explode and you're gonna have to deal with a broken generator and fire everywhere around, and things can get pretty hectic then. Besides that, we have a very cool mechanic, like a collision course, that your ship can end up flying on a collision course, and you have to reprogram it in order to avoid it. It's basically like a QTE, and if you fail, well, then you have to face a bunch of asteroids that end up on your ship, and we're seeing what happens exactly in such a situation, and it's pretty hard to handle.
Right. And then can you talk about kind of the rewards for, like, if you get 3 stars on each level, like what does that get you, like, outside of the moment-to-moment gameplay?
So yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so the stars itself, of course, they are measuring your skill level because it should be displayed in some way, but also this is a really great way to make sure that people are comfortable with whatever we want to throw at them. So we gate some levels, mostly chapters, with amount of stars you got in previous levels, because next chapter is usually a new bunch of mechanics stuck on top of the previous mechanics. So because of that, we want to make sure that you are fairly proficient with what you got thrown at you at the previous chapters, so that we can comfortably introduce you to another set of mechanics to not get you completely lost in what's happening. So basically, first of all, This is some kind of badge of honor how well you did, but also it is our way to make sure that you know what you were doing, you were proficient enough that we can introduce another thing on top of it, so you can enjoy the game at the pace that you won't get overwhelmed.
And you unlock more cool, cute skins. So this is like also very super important.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not a cosmetic guy, so this...
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, there are lots of cool skins. We got to see a bunch of them in our time playing, and I tried to switch it up every time because they're all pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And so this is the final level we have to show today, and we may or may not get destroyed by an octopus. Spoilers. So before we go, I wanted to talk about some of the details around this game. There's going to be couch co-op, right?
Yes, there's gonna be couch co-op and there's gonna be online co-op, and you can also mix them together as much as you want. And we support shared controllers as well, so you know if you only have one controller, you can play with two people. That's not a problem.
Cool.
That's awesome. And so, as far as the release goes and consoles, you know, where can people expect to play this, and when can they expect to play this?
Well, it's gonna be this year. I really wish I could tell you like a more specific date, but we don't have anything set yet. So, but we're really making sure that people can get their hands on this game this year.
Cool.
Awesome. And then it's coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, right?
Exactly.
Awesome.
Cool.
Great.
I know I had a lot of fun with this. The polish is there. There's a lot of it was a hectic way to start the day, but in the best possible way. So I'm excited to check this out closer to release.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, no release date yet, obviously, but like if this came out tomorrow, I'd be like, yeah, this is a final game. I had a really great time with it. It's a lot of hectic fun. I can't wait to get some friends over on the couch to play this because I think this game's really going to shine in that way. And yeah, I'll be looking out for this later this year. Thank you for showing up and playing with us and showing us your game and talking to us about it. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you. We're really happy that to be here and that you let us be on new gameplay today.
Awesome.
For sure.
All right, until next time, folks. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks.